Hi, I'm Michael Brothers, 2017 graduate of Canterbury and current collegiate golfer. Today we're going to help you out with a few golf tips to get your game started on the right note. First, we're going to talk about the grip. Now, there are certain keys that you need to understand about the grip before you figure out which of the three grips you want to use. So first, if you cup your hands a little bit, you see there's a little bit of there's like a valley in both your hands. That's perfectly made for the golf club to go into. So if you cup your hands, you're going to put I'm a right-handed golfer, so I'm going to put my right hand on the bottom into the cup and my left hand cup on the other side. And then your fingers wrap and your thumbs are going to be pointed straight down.
Good.
With the thumbs pointed straight down, it's very important that you keep that in mind with your right thumb because it's easy for your right thumb to kind of get wrapped around and get tense. So if you keep both thumbs pointed down and your right thumb will always be on top of your left thumb. With those three keys, you will be able to get your base grip down. Now once you have those fundamentals down, there are three different grips you can use: the interlock, the overlap, and the baseball grip. Personally, I prefer the interlock, and the overlap grip is also a popular method, and the baseball grip is great for those who are beginning and are getting used to grabbing the golf club. For the interlock grip, you're going to interlock the pinky on your right hand into the index finger on your left hand, like so, while keeping the main principles we discussed earlier in the video. So you're going to have your cupped wrists, and then your pinky is going to go into your pointer finger, and then your right thumb is going to go on top of your left thumb, and that is the interlock grip. Now, for the overlap grip, it is essentially the same principles, except instead of interlocking your pinky, you're simply going to overlap it on your pointer finger instead. All other principles of the grip remain the same. Now, for some beginners, I know that this isn't very comfortable, so if you want to stick with the baseball grip, it's a good way to get comfortable with swinging the golf club. Now, the key with the baseball grip is to make sure that your hands stay connected together, as some people like to get their hands too far apart and you don't have good control with the golf club that way. So as long as you keep your hands together and you keep both thumbs pointed down with your right thumb on top of your left thumb, your grip will be off to a great start and your golf game will be going straight.
Okay.
Next, we're going to talk about the stance. Now that we have our grip down, now we can approach how we're going to address the golf ball. So here we have a little bit of a setup with an alignment stick to help you out with how we're going to aim. But there are a few keys that you need to know first when addressing the golf ball. First is that your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. You don't want to stand too far and you don't want to stand too close. So you're shoulder width apart, and you're going to bend at the waist. The best way to do this is to think of sticking your butt out. I know it feels weird, but you're not sticking it out as much as you think. So you stick your butt out, and then the next step is to slightly bend your knees. You don't want to be too far over, but you want to be just over the balls of your feet. You want the weight to be in the center of your foot, like on the balls of your feet, and back stays straight, but when you stick your butt out, that helps with that too. To see it from a different angle, you have the feet shoulder width apart, and you stick your butt out, and you're going to keep your knees slightly bent. And then once you grip the golf club, the other thing to note is your alignment. I use this alignment stick when I practice to help show where I'm aiming. And as you can see, my feet are set in alignment with this red stick. And it is important to keep your shoulders and your feet aiming on the same line. So right now, if I hold my golf club at my shoulder line, you can see it's pointing at the same line as my feet because the alignment stick and the shoulder line are parallel. So sometimes it's easy to get that disoriented because it feels comfortable or you get in a weird spot, but it's really important to have your shoulders and feet squared up so that way you can get your golf ball going on the straight line.
Good.
Okay, that's grip.
And then we want to do the swing.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Hi everyone. Now that we have our grip and our stance figured out, we can start to work on the swing. The golf swing is a very complex thing to figure out, but with a few key basics, you can get it off to the right start. So now that we have our grip and our stance figured out, we can start to work on the swing. The first key to note is you want to have a one-piece takeaway. By one-piece takeaway, I mean that you're moving away with one. You're moving away as one piece. You're not having 6 different parts moving at the same time. And you're going to have your arms straight. And your first movement is you're going to have your arms straight back. Notice how both arms are straight. You don't want them to be crooked or anything like that. You want your body to be as one piece. And this movement is exercised with your right hip turning back. So when your right hip turns back, so you move your right hip back, the golf club comes out with it naturally. Once you get to this position, you keep your left arm straight at all times, but your right arm starts to make a bit of an L. If you keep this L, once your right arm meets it to the L, you've reached the top of your backswing. And once you get to this position, your downswing is started with your other hip, and when you bring your other hip through, the arms will come through and follow. So to sum that up, you take your stance, you get your one-piece takeaway, you get your right arm to an L, and then you're going to pull your left hip through. And then then once you have that part down, you want to get your club through the golf ball. And to get the club through the golf ball, once you get on the downswing, you need to turn your hands over so that way the club face meets the golf ball. If we do it in slow motion, you see at this point the golf club is wide open and you need to turn it over so that it squares up to the golf ball and you hit it on a straight line.